Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader, and it's Thursday night, March the 1st. Well, March, they say March comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. It was a pretty good day on Wall Street, and the indices held up very well considering yesterday's head and shoulder patterns. Late breakdown, it sure looked like a good hold today and gains on the session. Let's go over some of the stocks that stood out for me today. 5 million shares traded, up 41% today on SCEI after their accountants indicated that they had audited the books and that some of their claims from some of the shorts were misfounded. Anyway, stock you can see gapped up and ran and popped all the way up to 228 before closing at 212, up 62 cents. 5 million shares, by far the biggest volume I've ever seen in that stock. Well, at least going back to about a year ago. Let's say July of last year. That's 8 months. The stock then broke out above this line here and above the top of the channel, so we may see an extension up towards the 2.5 range short term, and I'll look for a scalp trade up to there, and then we'll see what happens. MEMS had a significant day today. The volume was 3,500% higher than normal. That's a big thrust in volume. Not only that, but the volume that it did get took it out across this multi-year, 3-year declining tops line. So we may see the stock move up and test these highs here short term around 390. Beyond that, I would look for something up about 4.75. VE, significant day today in that it gapped up and jumped $1.89 or 15.5% on 3 million shares. Biggest volume in a couple of months, but key is it broke across this and that, meaning lateral price resistance on this head and shoulders pattern, and a neckline, declining tops line, which indicates a potential breakout and a possible run up to test the 15.5 3/4 range short term. Liz Claiborne had a good day today indeed, as it broke out across a 2.5 week resistance level. Volume surged to 12.8 million shares, and that's the heaviest volume we've seen in months, going all the way back to October. Now, as you can see, it's been moving up slowly, but it may be accelerating here. And looking at the long-term chart on a weekly basis, the key level was taken out as well, and I very well may see the stock move up towards the 1920 zone on an intermediate basis. My short-term target is 14. Zynga, the new issue, having a good time of it. After the stock came down post-IPO into the 8 range, it then ran up sharply to get up to the mid-teens. Flagged and then rolled over hard one day a couple weeks ago, but it's recovered nicely along the 21-day moving average and the trend line. Today, this wedge was broken out, and a run at the double top occurred. It closed at a new all-time closing high post-IPO at 14.48, up $1.31 or 10%. 12.3 million traded, and if it opens strong tomorrow, we may see this surge up towards 15 and a half. FIO had a good day today. Now, the stock, which has been in a kind of an up and down phase where it was up here, down sharply, then back up sharply, then came down sharply. This rally here smacked of a bearish consolidation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when it came down to retest the December low, it did so positively and then popped up to resistance only to wedge. Today it gapped up and ran up 240 or 8.8%. Mine was 10.9 million, it's real strong. We're going to have to watch today's high at 30.35 because the high back here was 30.49 and at this gap here at 30.39. So we're at a level here that we could break out of this base and run up and take the stock into the mid-30s, my target for FIO. LNG really pleasing me in terms of the way it's acting, running up along this channel. I think we may see a short-term run up towards 19 at the top of this channel. Carrizo Oil Gas, significant day today. You can see this big basing pattern. Now the left shoulder head and right shoulder here failed or faded, but each return down in this zone here held near the this line, connecting all these lows. Note that the stock then held, moved up, pulled back one more time, and then thrusted the last 2 days from 26.5 to 30.5. Today's stock, today the action was up 212 or 7.5% on 2.3 million, and a clean breakout across the neckline. At this point, I would look for a move up to get this into the 34 range short term. Jive Software, recent IPO, also trending very nicely. As you can see, recent action indicates that the stock broke out today to new all post-IPO highs, up $1.57 or 7.2% on 700,000. If the angle of ascent here continues, we may very well see this spike up into the 25.6 zone. This brings us to MyTech. I like the little reversal MyTech had today after coming down one more time and testing the 20. It popped from 1037 to 1120 and closed 1105. Up 65 cents or 6%, and volume increased. Well, it didn't quite increase. Excuse me. The volume held steadily, but we need to see more volume as it gets up towards the 12 range and potentially takes that out by target 13, 13.25. By the way, 13.11 being the all-time high, so we may very well get a test here. Glue acting a little better, as you can see, popped across this line today, but couldn't close above it. We'll have to see if there's a follow-through. There's some resistance up at 419 with today's high at 417. So let's get through that 418.19 zone and then make a run at the prior high last month at 468. That's my short-term target. Secondary target, 5 3/4, 590. Post-IPO action on Michael KORS Holdings, KORS, is phenomenal as the stock has moved already from the low 20s to the 46.5 range in the last 3 months. It looks like it may trend higher. The top of the channel indicates mid-50s possible, so let's call it 49.50 short-term, intermediate term for 53.55. Another strong technical pattern on call after Vocaltech broke across here and flagged and then took off, pull back. It's been doing that stair-step type move up today, up another 99 cents or 4.8% on 528,000 shares, but it looks like the top of the channel may get a test up around 25. PCYC, one of our top 25 for the year, jumped $1.21 or 4.8% today on 1.5 million traded. That's the biggest volume in about 3 weeks. Like the action, may have broken out of this little micro wedge or coil here. Or pennant, and if this holds true, we may see a quick move up to test 28 and maybe even get as high as 32.33. USHS, just wanted to show you this because it's as powerful as it gets. The strong run has taken us from late December low around 6 to the current price just under 15 and up another 66 cents or 4.7% today. Volume held steadily, and it looks to me like we may tag the top of the channel tomorrow up around 15.5, but until this reverses, this has very strong momentum. Disco had a nice little snapback to test a high at around 380 with today's high at 380 exactly. It's like a little micro triple top up here over the last 3 sessions. If we can pop up through it, maybe take out this little ascending wedge, you could see the stock run up towards 5, maybe 4 3/4, 5 zone being my target up here. Let's call it 490.95. And lastly is Achillian Pharmaceuticals. I'm liking what I'm seeing here in terms of the potential little flag. Now the stock exploded in January, pulled back, tested here, jumped up on a gap. Since the gap day, a week and a half ago, the stock has been flagging very tightly here as volume is low and technicals hold up pretty well. If we can just get a move over 11, 12, 15 zone with volume, I'd look for a test of the 12.5, 3/4 range, and then I'm looking at 14 and maybe 17. Those are your targets going forward. That's it for today and this week. You guys have a good weekend. We'll talk to you Monday night.